Wind chimes are blowing in this old Texas town.
Read the book.
We're up above Texas, so fuck this is Oklahoma. I'll read the book when I feel like it, my dear. That's sick, actually. Do that again?
No, read the book.
No, do that again. It's sick as fuck.
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Should we get that on camera for your friend to see?
No, don't fucking get the...
No, we need to show
Do
that
not
to your
get
friend.
the fuck out of here on camera for my friend, okay?
Fine.
Here, camera on your tummy.
You're such a faggot.
Okay. Paper Towns, Chapter 2. I swiveled around when I heard the window open, and Margot's blue eyes were staring back at me. Her eyes were all I could see at first, but as my vision adjusted, I realized she was wearing black face paint and a black hoodie. Are you having cyber sex? She asked. I'm I-Ming with Ben Starling. That doesn't answer my question, perv. And laughed awkwardly, then walked over and knelt by the window, my face inches away from hers. I couldn't imagine why she was here in my window like this. To what do I owe the pleasure? I asked. Margot and I were still friendly, I guess, but we weren't meet in the dead of night wearing black face paint friendly. She had friends for that, I'm sure. I just wasn't among them. I need your car, she explained. I don't have a car, I said, which was something of a sore spot for me. Well, I need your mom's car. You have your own car, I pointed out. Margot puffed out her cheeks and sighed. Right, but the thing is that my parents have taken the keys to my car and locked them inside a safe, which they put under their bed, and Myrna Mount Weasel, who was her dog, is sleeping inside their room, and Myrna Mount Weasel has a freaking aneurysm whenever she catches sight of me. I mean, I could totally sneak in there and steal the safe and crack it and get my keys out and drive away, but the thing is that it's not even worth trying because Myrna Mount Weasel is just going to bark like crazy if I so much as crack open the door. So like I said, I need a car. Also, I need you to drive it, because I have to do 11 things tonight, and at least 5 of them involve a getaway, man. When I lit my sight unfocused, she became nothing but eyes floating in the ether, and then I looked back on her, and I could see the outline of her face, the paint still wet against her skin, her cheekbones triangulated into her chin, her pitch-black lips barely turned to a smile. Any felonies? I asked. Said Margot. Remind me if breaking and entering is a felony? No, I answered firmly. No, it's not a felony, or no, you won't help. No, I won't help. Can you enlist some of your underlings to drive you around? Lacey and or Rebecca were always doing her bidding. They're part of the problem, actually, Margot said. What's the problem? I asked. There are 11 problems, she said, somewhat impatiently. No felonies, I said. I swear to God that you will not be asked to commit a felony. And right then, the floodlights came on all around Margot's house. In one swift motion, she somersaulted through my window into my room and then rolled beneath my bed. Within seconds, her dad was standing on the patio outside. Margot, he shouted, I saw you. From beneath my bed, I heard a muffled, oh, Christ. Margot scooted out from under the bed, stood up, and walked to the window, and said, Come on, Dad, I'm just trying to have a chat with Quentin. You're always telling me what a fantastic influence he could be on me and everything. Just chatting with Quentin? Yes. Then why are you wearing black face paint? Margot faltered for only the briefest moment. Dad, to answer that question would take hours of backstory, and I know that you're probably very tired, so just go back. In the house, he thundered. This minute. Margot grabbed hold of my shirt, whispered, back in a minute, in my ear, and then climbed out the window.
Hot.
It is hot.
They have such good chemistry
I would
already.
I know. They're great together. I'd fuck Margot Spiegelman.
You'd fuck a rock.
What the hell? It took until the end of the little slight spoiler, but it's revealed at like the very end of the book that her hair is like pinned straight. For the fucking entirety of this book, I have been imagining her as having like this beautiful curly sort of like gingerish brownish hair.
I thought she was blonde.
You get a blonde vibe from Margot.
I get a blonde vibe.
You get a blonde vibe.
Blonde, wavy, kind of like Sam from Sam and Cat.
Oh.
I'm getting a lot of Sam.
You get a Sam vibe.
I get a Sam.
Yeah. Sam from Sam and Cat is not a Sam from iCarly? Jeanette McCurdy?
Okay, Sam from iCarly too, but I like Sam and Cat more.
I don't know. We're losing time. Time doesn't matter. He can fuck. He can speed up the video. As soon as she left, I grabbed my car keys from my desk. The keys are mine. The car, tragically, is not. On my 16th birthday, my parents gave me a very small gift, and I knew the moment they handed it to me that it was a car key, and I about peed myself, because they'd said over and over again that they couldn't afford to give me a car, but when they handed me the tiny wrapped box, I knew they'd been tricking me, that I was getting a car after all. I tore off the wrapping paper and popped open the little box. Indeed, it contained a key. Upon close inspection, it contained a Chrysler key, a key for a Chrysler minivan, the one and the same Chrysler minivan owned by my mother. My present is a key to your car? I asked my mom. Tom, she said to my dad, I told you he would get his hopes up. Oh, don't blame me, my dad said. You're just sublimating your own frustration with my income. Isn't that snap analysis a tad passive-aggressive, my mother asked. Aren't rhetorical accusations of passive aggression inherently passive-aggressive? My dad responded, and they went on like that for a while. The long and short of it was this. I had access to the vehicular awesomeness that is a late-model Chrysler minivan, except for when my mom was driving it, and since she drove to work every morning, I could only use the car on weekends. Well, weekends and in the middle of the goddamn night. It took Margot more than the promised minute to return my window, but not much more. But in the time she was gone, I'd started to waffle again. I've got school tomorrow, I told her. Yeah, I know, Margot answered. There's school tomorrow and the day after that. And thinking about that too long could make a girl bonkers. So yeah, it's a school night. That's why we've got to get going, because we've got to be back by morning. I don't know. Cute, she said. Cute. Darling, how long have we been dear friends? We're not friends, we're neighbors. Oh, Christ, Q, am I not nice to you? Do I not order my various and sundry minions to be kind to you at school? Uh-huh, I answered dubiously, although in point of fact, I'd always figured it was Margot who had stopped Chuck Barson and his ilk from screwing with us. She blinked. She even painted her eyelids. Q, she said, we have to go. And so I went. I slid out the window and we ran along the side of my house, heads down, until we opened the doors of the minivan. Margot whispered not to close the doors, too much noise. So with the doors open, I put it in neutral, pushed off the cement with my foot, and then let the minivan roll down the driveway. We rolled slowly past a couple houses before I turned on the engine and the headlights. We closed the doors, and then I drove past the serpentine streets of Jefferson Park's endlessness, the houses all still new-looking and plastic, like a toy village, housing tens of thousands of real people. Margot started talking. The thing is, they don't really care. They just like my exploits more. They just feel like my exploits make them look bad. Just now, do you know what he said? He said, I don't care if you screw up your life, but don't embarrass us in front of the Jacobsons. They're our friends. Ridiculous. And you have no idea how hard they've made it to get out of that goddamn house. You know how in prison escape movies they put bundled up clothes under the blankets to make it look like there's a person in there? I nodded. Yeah, well, Mom put a baby monitor in my room so she could hear my sleep breathing all night. So I had to pay Ruthie $5 to sleep in my room, and then I put bundled up clothes in her room. Ruthie is Margot's little sister. It's Mission Impossible shit now. Used to be I could just sneak out like a regular goddamn American, just climb out the window and jump off a roof. But God, these days it's like living in a fascist dictatorship. Are you gonna tell me where we're going? Well, first we're going to Publix, because for reasons I'll explain later, I needed to go grocery shopping for me. And then to Walmart.
How long is this? Oh.
We're on the last page of the chapter. What, we're just gonna go on a grand tour of every commercial establishment in Central Florida? I asked. Tonight, darling, we are going to right a lot of wrongs, and we are going to wrong some rights. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. The meek shall do some earth inheriting. But before we can radically reshape the world, we need to shop. I pulled into the Publix then, the parking lot almost entirely empty, and parked. Listen, she said, how much money do you have on you right now? $0.00, I answered. I turned off the ignition and looked over at her. She wriggled a hand into a pocket on her tight, dark jeans and pulled out several $100 bills. Fortunately, the good Lord has provided, she said. What the hell? I asked. Bar mitzvah money, bitch. I'm not allowed to access the account, but I know my parents' password because they used Mount Weasel for everything. So I made a withdrawal. I tried to blink away the awe, but she saw the way I was looking at her and she smirked at me. Basically, she said, this is going to be the best night of your life. And that's chapter 2.
Cool.
Wow, only 9 minutes this time. The last video was like fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Goddamn, short chapter.